So sentence diagram basically is not a new science. You can see it has been developed in the 1970th century by these two scholars. So until now, the problem here is that why do we need to learn it? Because it is very useful and very helpful in seeing the relationship among the sentence elements. They are very helpful. And so that's why we need to learn it. And I remember the first time I in touch with sentence diagram is when I was in college. In college, I went to a second-hand bookstore, the used bookstore, and just browsed the titles. And I found out there's a book called Sentence Diagramming. So it's kind of intriguing because I majored in English in college. So I thought this might be a helpful skill for me to develop my knowledge about sentences and English grammar. So I purchased one and I read it. I found that it's very, very useful. So that's why I could manage most of the English sentences without committing too much error. So I would like to give this knowledge to you. So we have this workshop for sentence diagramming. So let's go to the first slide. Next slide to talk about the basic elements. What would be the knowledge we need to have? So here, let's look at here. This one is very short, but actually it is a sentence. It is sentence pattern number 7, I think. Number 6. Number 6, that is a subject and intransitive verb, right? This is a subject, and this is the intransitive verb. So basically, we need to learn about two things. First of all, there will be a main line. Main line provide the foundation for the major elements. So this is the main line, and the main line of the diagram shows the head noun. This is the head noun of the subject, and divided from the predicative by the vertical line. So let's see this one. This one is a vertical line. Vertical line, just as we have pointed out here, right? So vertical line is used to divide, basically. Used to divide subject and any kind of verb. Okay? So subject verb is divided by a vertical line. So this is the first single chart we would like to learn. So here, Brazilians arrived. For years of practice and experiences, when I look at this sentence, I instantly identify this is subject and this is the verb. And how about this one? How about this one? Which one is the subject? As you can see from here. So let me ask you, we have this sentence, right? And the sentence must have a subject and verb and something else, right? For me, when I see such a long sentence, I would always look at this is the subject and this shows the verb and this is the object. That's it. So for me, the most important words is nine shows none. Of course, there are a lot of modifiers, right? So what nine? The main nine. What kind of main nine of the diagram? So you can see here of the diagram is actually a prepositional phrase used to modify nine. And nine is modified by main and main nine is modified by the. So basically, this is the traditional notion of subject. But now I want you to notice about this one. This is the real subject in the logical grammar we want to talk about. So shows. Show is show is a transitive verb in this sentence. Shows we must have a object here, right? So gradually you will be able to learn the skill to identify the subject and the most important part of the verb and or object altogether. That is very, very straightforward. So how can I do this? How can I do this? Well, there's no mystery. It's very simple because I understand how to dissect this structure into a sentence diagram. So if you could take time about 1 or 2 weeks to practice drawing this, then you will understand all of this long sentence will be very easy for you to understand because their structures are all the same. Remember, their structures are all the same. When I talk about the structures, I refer to the major structure. And the major structure is above the main line. This is the main line. And the vertical line is used to divide subject and verb. Okay, so now we can move to the next slide. And now we have a little bit addition to the main line here, right? And we have a vertical line, and we have a subject, and we have a verb. And now, how about if we have an object? Now we have an object here, right? So basically, a shorter vertical line here. A shorter vertical line is used to divide verb and object. So now, breeds, play golf is subject. This is subject, right? Subject, and this is subject, and this is transitive verb, and this is object, direct object. Okay, so now we have finished the basic structure. Okay, so we know breeds, play golf. They are the primary core components for the structure, for the sentence. So they will be above the main line. They are on the main line here. Breeds, play golf. Okay, so this is the basic structure here. So after the verb, a shorter, this is the verb, right? A shorter, not go through the main line, divides the verb from the head noun of the direct object. Okay, so here is the basic structure. Now we have increased our knowledge to 3 different lines, right? One is the main line, the other one is a longer vertical line. And this line is used to divide subject and verb. And shorter vertical line is used to divide verb and object. Okay, so now we can move on to the next one. So how about this one? You can draw it by yourself. So Greek, smash, press. Now I'll give you 2 minutes to draw the picture by yourself. Now go ahead. For those students late to check in, you may type your school ID and name in our message box. Okay, the first one is straightforward and easy because the only thing you need to know is to use main line, vertical line, and then shorter vertical line. So here is the answer. Let's see this one. So Greek, smash, praise. Is that right? Okay. So maybe you can ask yourself, is correct or incorrect, to give you some pros, right? The first try. Okay, so we can move to the next one. Next one, now we have one addition. We call diagonal line. This is a diagonal line. So what is diagonal? What is the meaning for diagonal? Let me tell you. Basically, we need to distinguish dial. This is dial. And gone. And this is AL. So diagonal, dia means in Latin root, it means through. okay, through. And a gone means angle. And AL means off. So basically, diagonal line refers to, this is a rectangle, right? Rectangle, and this is the diagonal lines. So go through the angle from this part to this part is diagonal. So 对角线. So this is diagonal line. So a diagonal line leaning toward the nun. So you can see it leans toward the nun it refers, right? So it's just like a artillery shell, just shooting here, and hey, French is equal to we. Okay, so basically, the same is here for the main line. Main line is always there, and the vertical line goes through the main line is always there, and this is subject, and this is the verb, right? And now, following the noun followed after the verb is a subject complement. Then if this is a subject complement, then we use diagonal line instead of shorter vertical line. Okay, it refers to the linkage between French and we. So we become French. We become French. French is we, right? Okay, so remember, this is a new addition that we need to know. So the purpose of the diagonal line leaning toward the noun it refers to precedes the subject-object complement is the way we used to divide linking verb or be verb with complement. Okay, so now let's see the next one. And we add in the previous one is this is the subject complement. This is the subject complement, right? So before the subject complement, we use a diagonal line. And now if we have this is the object complement. Object complement is used to complement interactions. This is object. So let's take a look here. Imitation, mate, interactions, easy. So here is the subject. This is the subject. And this is the verb, transitive verb, right? And the interaction is the direct object. And the mission for easy, it is an adjective, right? But basically, it is an object complement. So when we say complement, it's equal. So easy is equal to interaction. So when we say equal, and we know we want to complement, so again, a diagonal line is used. So now let's see here. This is the subject, right? And divide it with a vertical line to divide with subject and verb. And here is the shorter vertical line used to divide verb and object, right? And we have a diagonal line indicate something after it is a object complement. So this one is used to complement interaction. So this is the basic structure for imitation, mate, interactions, easy. So this is the first, the next one we need to learn about diagonal line. So the purpose of the diagonal line is to complement. So we do not use shorter vertical line. Instead, we use diagonal line to provide this kind of linkage. Okay? Now, let's do the next one. Okay, so here we practice a little bit harder by adding in the concept of modifiers. In the previous classes, I always talk about the modifiers, right? So if you look at the chart here, if you look at the chart here, and the prayers worked are above the main line. So since they are above the main line, they are the core components of the sentence. And is now let's move to look at everything under it. Everything under it, this is the, and the heart, very. They are belong to modify. You can see they are hanging there, right? Do you see that? The is hanging under prayers. Very hard is hanging under worked. It's just like a picture hanging on the wall. So you can take it away or hang it on. It's okay. There's no problem. No harm to the structure, right? Okay, so now let's take a look. If you look at the prayers worked very hard, right? So for now, you should be able to know the primary components for this sentence have only two words. Prayers worked, right? Prayers worked, subject. This is subject. Subject, and this is the intransitive verb. So the end of the sentence. That's it. Okay, but we also see there is a modifier, and there's another set of a modifier, right? So how can we draw modifiers? Modifiers, here modifiers. Modifiers appear on diagonal lines. Also, we use diagonal lines below the appropriate words on the main line. So look here. We know the is used to modify prayers, right? So this is the diagonal line here, and this is the written over here to it signify this this section is used to modify prayers. So it's just like something hanging over there. I want to modify you, okay? So this is modifier. And now another concept we call qualifier. In English, when we say qualifiers, it refers to the intensity. How much? Okay, for example, what's the example in this chart? In this chart, we know the prayers work hard. So prayers worked, right? So we have a modifier the used to modify prayers, but worked. Actually, which word? We have a very hard combined together, right? Combined together to modify worked. But actually, if we want to identify the real modifier for to modify worked, it is hard. Hard. Because you see, hard, the prayers worked hard. So basically, this one is the modifier, direct modifier for worked. Is that right? Okay. And now you have seen this is very here. Very is qualifiers. Qualifier to identify the intensity of being how hard. So now it's very hard, right? So actually, very is used to modify hard, and combined together is used to modify worked. So let me say that one more time. The modifier to modify worked is actually hard. But now we add in a concept of qualifiers to ask how much intense about hard. So now we have very. So how can you connect very to hard? Again, we use this kind of diagonal line to modify hard. So basically, work hard. How hard? Work very hard. Okay? But in general, actually this is a pair of modifiers, and this is another modifiers. So according to our research, our study, we know whenever it is a modifier, the simple solution for us is that we can just take this away without harming the structure, right? But now let's look at again. That is, we can take the away. So if we want to choose these two words, hard and very, to get rid of, which one we can take off? Well, we cannot take away hard. Why? Because if you take away hard, then the linkage between very and the work is severed. Because very is a qualifier to qualify the intensity of hard. So basically, in this case, we can take away very and keep hard. So players work hard is good, but players worked very is wrong, right? So this is the beauty of when we say we want to learn sentence diagramming. We will know which words are more important. If we count the ranking order of the importance, I would say the most important words are these two. And then it is these two. And the least important one is these two, because it has the more connection than the hard to work, right? It has to connect twice to work. So basically, we can take away the least important one first without harming the structure. The players work hard. And also we can take this away and this away, and it is still a sentence, right? But when we say we can take the second and third ranking order words component away, but we cannot take this away, any of these two words away, because they are the primary component. If you take this away, then there will be no sentence, right? And if you take this away, again, we have no sentence at all. So players worked are the most important part. So now, what we have so far, we have learned several very basic skills. One, we learned main 9, right? Main 9. Main 9 is used to support the major elements above. And the vertical 9 is used to divide subject and the verb, subject and verb, right? And if we move up a little bit, this one, and we will see there is a shorter vertical 9. This one is used to divide verb and object. Again, we have a diagonal 9. Diagonal 9 is used to divide object and object complement, or verb and the subject complement. Okay, so this is diagonal 9. And also we have learned how to create modifiers. Modifier must be hung under the word it needs to modify. So from this chart, with a visual image, we know the is used to modify prayers, and hard is used to modify worked, and very is used to qualify hard. So altogether, very hard is used to modify worked. Okay, so this is the basic knowledge. So far, any question? Okay, if not, then let's move on to the next one. I want you to draw this one. I'll give you 2 minutes. So when you draw this picture, when you draw this sentence diagram, please write down your school ID and your name, because later we are going to use this one as the second roll call for this class. Okay, so now let's see the answer for this one. So the tigers are very aggressive. As you can see from here, we know tigers are aggressive, are the primary component we need to have, right? So let's see whether you are right or not. So let's see this one. So let's take a look. So here is tigers, right? And divided by a vertical line with beaver. And aggressive is the subject complement. So we need to have a diagonal line here. And because it allows it to complement tigers. And the is put under tigers. And the very is put under aggressive to modify aggressive, right? So now we have, okay, I will give you one example to show how we can just have our roll call. Okay, please just do as I did just now and into our night group. No, not your name. I want you to your picture. Your picture, your drawing. Yes, that's right. If you did not upload your drawing, you are not practicing. And remember, you have to put your name and school ID on it so that it can be identified. That is yours. Practice. If you forgot to put your school ID and name, you can do it right now. No, you cannot take my picture, okay? Okay, I'm going to end the roll call in 5 minutes. Oh, not 5 minutes, 5 seconds. So I'm going to end by okay. So let's continue to. So we will occasionally check your participation by doing this in because this is online lecture. It will be a lot of intimidating for roll call practice. But please bear on me. We have too many students here, so we have to maintain the participation so you can learn something. So the tigers are very aggressive, right? So you can see whether you're right or not, part of the happiness by yourself. It's okay. Either way will be fine because we are practicing. So now, let's learn a bit more. That is, now we have a preposition. Well, so far we did not touch anything about prepositional phrase, right? So if we have a preposition, how can we deal with that? Just about this one. Again, between them, ended, on time. So basically, basically game and ended, game ended, the subject and the intransitive verb. It's very simple, right? But now we have several components here. This is between them, and we have on time. And of course, this is a prepositional phrase. Preposition and then object, right? And on is also preposition and object. So now the game between them ended on time, and this is a modifier, the article. So game ended. So now we need to know another knowledge about how to draw a prepositional phrase. So when we have a preposition, again we will place it on a diagonal line beneath the word in modifier. For example, this one, if you can see, this is game, right? Game and then ended. So we have a vertical line to divide this one by this one. And we already know we use the and with diagonal line to modify game. But now the problem is that we have a prepositional phrase here. So how can we draw prepositional phrase? Basically, we use this kind of combination. We use a diagonal line here and a horizontal line here, and combine together. And on the diagonal line, we put the preposition, and on the horizontal line, we put the object. So this is the combination. Okay, so this combination all together form a modifier to modify game. So here in this composition, we have the object too. This is object. So the object of preposition appears on a horizontal line attached to the line of the preposition. So here you see on time. On time, we have a time as an object, right? And we have on time. So this is on, and this is time. On is a preposition. Time is an object. And you see this line here. The line here, this is diagonal line, and this is horizontal. All together combined as a prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase, we have said that prepositional phrase in before combined together can be either an adjective or an adverb, right? So you can see ended, this prepositional phrase is used to modify ended. Ended is a verb. So on time is an adverb. And game is a noun. So between them is an adjective. There are no other speech is that a prepositional phrase can be. It can be only an adjective or an adverb. That's it, period. So you can see between them is used to modify game, adjective. On time, adverb used to modify ended. That is adverb, right? And although this is a definite, we call definite article, but it functions as an adjective to modify again, modifier, and modifier. So over here, basically, we have the game between them ended on time. So the most important part of the sentence is game ended, right? And we can take away on time, no problem, because we can just take this away. You can see the difference between this one, right? And of course, we can also take away between them, and no problem. The game ended. That's it. So now we learn how to draw prepositional phrase, right? First of all, we use a diagonal line to allow the preposition to sit down. And also we have horizontal line, 平行线, to allow object to sit here. So, and then connect them together to form a section. And the section is a modifier. Okay, so now let's move to the next one. Now, use your turn. I'll give you 3 minutes to draw this one. Again, remember to put your school ID and name on it. So once you have done drawing, you could upload a picture here with your school ID and name on it. Okay, you can just do it right now. So save some time for us. Okay, 2 more minutes for you to upload your picture. Okay, I'm going to end the second drawing update. So now I'm going to tell you the answer for this one. Hurry up. So while you are updating, I think I just go to explain the context. So here comes the celebrity of the show still on the stage. Okay, so let's see this one, the celebrity of the show still on the stage. So for me, I could quickly understand celebrity is the subject, and the stood is a stand, stood. Of course, it is an intransitive verb. So basically, we have end the structure of the sentence, right? And this is the main line. main line, and we know this is celebrity stood and divided by a vertical line. So it seems that we have the core components here, right? But let's take a look. There are a lot of modifiers here. The first one is the the, and the other one is of the show is a prepositional phrase, and on the stage is a prepositional phrase. So let's consider first. Of the show is a prepositional phrase. It is used to modify celebrity, and because this is a noun, right? So anything that can be used to modify a noun is an adjective. So of the show is an adjective, no problem. And stood is a verb. And the only thing we can use to modify verb is an adverb. Okay, so that's why we say prepositional phrase can have only two different kind of speeches, either an adjective or an adverb. Okay, so now let's move down here to take a look. The first one is a celebrity stood, right? So here we have the main line and the vertical line divide subject and verb. And now let's look at the modifier. The is easy. There's no problem for this one. But now let's take a look at this one. Of the show. The segment is this. But if you look at, we have some variation here, right? Of course, is on the diagonal line here, no problem. Show is the object of show, and the is actually the modifier for show. So it has to be put on the show. Okay, so of show, what kind of show? The show. So the is a modifier for show, so it is on the show. On the same reason, we have on stage, right? So and the is also used to modify stage. So this is the complete structure for this one. But again, as we can see from here, the celebrity of the show stood on the stage. This altogether can be taken away because it is a modifier. And this can be taken away, it is modifier. And this one, so basically the core component is celebrity stood. That's it. No exception, right? It seems very straightforward. Okay, so now let's take a 10 minutes break and please come back at 10 after 10 and we will resume our class. Okay, and you can check it whether you are right or wrong. Okay, feel a little bit happy. So take a break now. Okay. So let's look at this sentence. These manners caused the aliens great amusement. So basically, the core component for this one is manners. Sorry. Subject. And the cause is the transitive verb. And aliens is the object. And amusement. Amusement is another object. So it seems to be number 8 sentence pattern, right? Subject. We have a subject, and we have a transitive verb, and we have indirect object and direct object. Okay, so now how can we deal with this kind of structure? So let's move down here to take a look. Manners. Again, we have a main line, right? And first, we draw a vertical line to divide subject, and the verb. And now, the verb is only capable of divide verb. This shorter vertical line is only used to divide verb and object. How about here we have two objects. This is indirect object, this is direct object, right? So in this case, we have to use the meaning of the sentence to think the alternative way. That is, these manners caused the aliens great amusement. then actually it is equal to this manners cause great amusement to the aliens, right? So actually we have a two here, but it is omitted. If we change it to another sentence structure, it is equal to these manners cause great amusement to the aliens, right? So with this kind of the same meaning concept, we can change the structure here. So basically, this is the indirect object. So here is how to deal with this kind of indirect object. Let's say this one. Basically, we move amusement, direct object between cause and amusement, and modify by great, right? Then we have the two, basically this is to the alien, right? But in this structure, we do not have to. However, the meaning to is here. However, we omit it. We don't write it out. But the meaning is the same. It is the preposition here. But the preposition to or for is omitted. But still, we have a prepositional phrase like segment here. So here you can see great amusement to the aliens. We just changed the format to these manners cause great amusement to the aliens. Is that right? So this is another way. Why can we do this? Why can we do this? It is because of the same meaning. So yeah, an indirect object is set up like a prepositional phrase. You look here, like a prepositional phrase. Because its meaning, we look at the meaning. The meaning is very important. Its meaning can be expressed by the preposition to or for. Although the preposition is not written in unless it appears in the sentence, right? It does not written out, but it is actually there. So when we have these manners cause the aliens great amusement, it is indeed equal to these manners cause great amusement to the aliens. To the aliens is the prepositional phrase. So we put up here without to. Okay? So this is the way for us to handle this kind of structure. Sentence pattern number 8. Okay, so let's move down to the next slide. So how about this one? Swedes cannot teach honor to Spaniard. So after you finish drawing, you can upload your third drawing into our online group. Yeah, question? So you have 2 minutes to do so. Hurry up. And this one should be easy. Oh, it's typo. It's okay. Not bad. not typo. Spaniards. Yeah, I should put S. Okay, great. After you upload your original drawing, and you can compare notes with the correct answers. And you may want to change it to make some revision on your own drawing, because in our meeting we will have some question to ask you to draw the sentence diagram. Okay, one more minute. Okay, so let's take a look. So Swiss cannot teach honors to Spaniards. So we have, yeah. I'm sorry, my bad. Okay, so here, let's look at here. So Swedes cannot teach. At first, we need to always put the main line and the vertical line first. Okay, so we have a subject, and cannot teach is a verbal phrase. They have to combine together. And the honor divided by a shorter vertical line. So here we have a component very clearly. This is a subject, right? And this is transitive verb. And this is the object. And two Spaniards, here, two is a preposition, two, and the Spaniard is an object. So this is the prepositional phrase, right? Used to modify cannot teach. So this is a complete structure over here. No problem. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. Right or wrong, you tell yourself. And let's go to the next one. So next one, we learn how to connect conjunctions. Conjunctions are there to connect different parts, different equal parts together. So conjunction, by the way, appears as a dotted line here, you see. So gratitude and justice, they are on the same sections of the main line for subject. Is that right? Did you see this? This is a subject, right? And they are located in the same section, connected by and. So gratitude and justice is the subject, and are is the be verb, basic tenets. So this is the object complement, a subject complement. So let's look here. It's just like this, but the main line is extended to the two sides. One is here, the other is here, connected by and, gratitude and justice. So here we know this is the subject, and this is the be verb, right? And tenants is subject complement, so we need to use diagonal line here. And the basic is a modifier to modify tenants. So the core components for this one is gratitude and justice are tenants. Is that right? So how can we use conjunctions? We will use a dotted line to connect parallel elements. And we put and here. Okay? So this is the very simple rule. So now let's practice this one. Romantic love is seen differently in France and England. and Finland. This one is a little bit complicated, but you can still can try. Okay, 1 more minute to end this one. When you see the correct answers, please do compare your notes. Compare notes to revise your answers. Okay, so now I'm going to end the drawing now. Okay, so let's see this one. This one is a little bit complicated because you have to try to fully comprehend the knowledge you have learned so far in order to get this right. Okay, so let's see this one first. Again, love. Love subject is seen. Verb, right? So love is seen divided by the vertical line over the main line. So this is what we want to have. So romantic is used to modify love, no problem, right? And seen differently. There are two modifiers. One, differently. The other one is in France and in Finland. So differently is used to modify is seen. And in France and Finland, this combination is a prepositional phrase. But please note that and this is the dotted line. But the location of in France and in Finland is here, okay, but not somewhere else, because they are not the core component. They are not qualified to be put on the main line. So you have to put up here, because the blue rectangle is a modifier used to modify is seen. Differently is seen. Okay, so this is used to modify is seen. So adverb, adverb, and adjective. Okay, so please just change your compare and do some revision by yourself now. Okay, so I'm going to move to the next one. Next one, we talk about this one. So you can have the chance to practice one more time. Okay, do it. Okay, we have some students update the answers. Okay, and now their aspiration and disappointments will be very different. So you can see that aspiration and disappointment is the subject, right? Would be is the be verb. Different is a subject complement. So let's see here. The answer for this one is very simple, but it needs some imagination. That is, we have aspiration and disappointment as the verb, right? But we have this one as the subject. It is located in the position of the subject. But now we have used there to modify this segment. So we put there over here. Would be and very different. So remember, this is the diagonal line, not the vertical. Diagonal line, the purpose of using diagonal line is to add in a complement. So it is equal. And vary here is used to modify different. Okay, so the overall picture is just like this. The aspiration and the disappointment would be very different. Okay, so basically the primary component is here. Here would be different. So here is the subject would be different. Okay, now give me 1 minute to make some revision about your own drawing. Okay, so the next one. The next one, we have a clause. We will move on to have a clause. Okay, so how can we use the sentence diagramming to draw clause? So basically, we are using dotted line. So let's look at the sentence here. We choose a career. That this is the clause, right? Relative clause. Relative pronoun to lead the clause. That we like. So if you look at this one is used to modify career, right? This one is used. This clause is used to modify career, and as this is a noun, so that we like, of course, is an adjective clause. It is an adjective. So we choose a career. What kind of career that we like? And now this adjective clause that actually is equal to career. Is that right? Represent career. So we choose a career. Another one, the career we like. We like career. So career here is an object for we like career. Okay, so now how can we draw this? Basically, it's about the same. This is the main line for the independent clause. So we have a vertical line. So we choose career. Is that right? So you can see here, we choose career. It's the same here. We choose career. Is that right? Okay. So here we have complete the major part. And now we have that we like. And we know that is equal to represent career. So we use dotted line to connect career with that. And so we have an adjective clause here. We know it is the clause. Clause has a sentence structure. So here we have a main line and vertical line. And we like. And you see that is the object, right? So it is put over here. We like that. Okay, so let me say that one more time. The structure is very simple. We choose career. So we choose career, we put over here. And we know that is equal to Korea. So we use a dotted line to connect that with Korea. But that is is the object of the adjective clause. So we here, we is the subject for the adjective clause, and like is the verb, and that is the object. So we put over here. So basically, let's look at the image here. This one is a modifier, right? And this is hanging here to modify Korea too. Although this segment is a little bit larger, it seems to be including a sentence over there, but still, it is a modifier because it is hanging there, hanging after under Korea. Is that right? So basically, it is a modifier. So that's why we say this adjective clause can be taken away. We choose a Korea. That's good enough. Okay? So remember, when you have a relative pronoun to represent a noun over there, you have to put this under the corresponding noun. So Korea and that are connected together with dotted line. Okay, so here we can try to do this one. This one is more difficult, so let's try. You can do this. Okay. So people always face concepts that many cultures define differently. So let's see the structure first. So people face concepts, right? And we have adjective clause over here that many cultures define differently. Okay, so let's see this one. So basically that is equal to concept, represent concept, right? So basically we have a subject, verb, and object. And we have another clause under it, adjective clause. The adjective clause, the subject is this one, subject, and define is the verb. And the object is this one, is object. Is that right? So with this is in mind, then we will be able to have this picture. Okay, the drawing indicates here people, face, concept. And remember, always is used to modify face. This is an adverb, right? And that is equal to concept. So we have a dotted line connected with that concept, And the location of the position for that is an object. So cultures, and this is the define that, define concepts. And how many cultures? Many. And define differently. So this is the whole structure. Okay, so now please make some revision by yourself. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. And now we have a relative pronoun again to talk about who. And this time it is in the position of subject. So for this one, people who do things extraordinarily are outliers. So the primary segment components for this one is people, and who do things extraordinarily is an adjective clause used to modify people. Is that right? So the be verb is here, and this is the subject complement. So we see here people are outliers. So on the main line we have people are and outliers. And be careful, this is a diagonal line because it is used to complement. Outlier is equal to people. So outliers people are outliers. And now we have a who do things extraordinarily. Now, this is an adjective clause used to modify people. So the who is equal to people, so it is connected here. Who is the adjective clause, is the subject. This is the subject of this adjective clause, right? So it is here. Who do things, and extraordinarily is the adverb to modify do. So altogether you can see the primary components for this one is people are outliers. And the long clause here, who do things extraordinary, is an adjective, is over here. And since it is an adjective, we can take it away without any problem. So people are outliers. Is that right? Okay, so maybe we can practice this one. Okay, so let's see. The team that won the game was the Giants. So we can see this. This is the answer. So you can see here, team was Giants, right? So team was Giants above the main line. Divided by vertical line, we have a beaver, and diagonal line, we have a subject complement. And the is used to modify team. The is used to modify the Giants, right? But we have an adjective clause here, so we put here connected that, and this is the subject that the team won the game. So this is the structure we want. So you could make. I noticed that most of the students have been correct in this one. It's a good sign. Okay, so this one. Now we have a subordinative conjunction. Subordinative conjunction, we have some revision, some change about how to use the dot line. So for example, this one, the oak tree is the tallest because we have a subordinate conjunction, right? Because no other trees blocked its sunlight. So basically, here is the main clause, and here is the dependent clause. So how can we do this? Well, basically, subordinate conjunction are written on the dotted line. Here is the dotted line, right? And we wrote the because here. And to connect another complete structure of the sentence. And this is the main sentence we want, right? So let's try to correspond the sentence and the structure here. First one, we have the oak tree. So we have tree here, right? Tree. And is tallest. So what kind of tree? Oak tree. And the oak tree. The oak tree, okay, is tallest. So we finish the segment here. And because is a subordinate conjunction, so we use starting line and put the because here. And another sentence here. Another clause. Tree because, here because. No other trees block sunlight. And other here, no here. Is that right? So this one is a modifier for trees, and blocked is sunlight. Okay, so basically, because is used to connect tree. So this one is used to modify tree. That's it. Okay, so this is how we use because, the so-called subordinative conjunctions. So now let's move to this one. As a Greenlander does, a Tasmanian knows its duty. Okay, so can you draw this one? Okay, so as a Greenlander does, a Tasmanians know his duty. So we know the primary structure for this one is Tasmanian knows duty, right? But we have a subordinate conjunction lead clause here. A Greenlander does. So this kind of construction, how can we draw? So here is the answer for this one. A little bit tricky, but still the same logic. So let's see this one. So this is the primary structure, right? So we have main clause here and Tasmania. Here Tasmania knows his duty. Is that right? Tasmania knows his duty. But as is connected with Tasmania. So we have as here. As and followed with another clause here. Greenlander is the subject. Does is the verb. And we have a used to modify Greenlander. So you can see here, basically, when we say modifier, it can be hand under, or you can just put above. Okay, just like we put something on the ceiling, right? And over there, but definitely it is also a modifier. So now we have to change the location of the modifier a little bit. So with this one, we know this position. This one is a modifier for Tasmania. So this is an adjective. Okay. Tasmania knows his duty. So this is the one we need to have. Okay, a little bit strange, right? But the rationale is the same. Okay, so let's take a 10 minutes break. Please come back at 11:10 and we shall resume our class later. Okay, see you later. Okay, let's resume our class. So let's move to the next slide. So now we have an infinitive phrase. This is an infinite phrase. So how can we draw it? Basically, we still have the component for verb. This is verb, right? And this is object. So we have to use the same rationale to use a line, horizontal line, and a shorter vertical line to separate verb and object. And we put two here. And there is used to modify goal. So you can see this is a infinitive phrase here to reach their goal. So to reach their goal together is used to modify pray. So this one is an adverb. Infinitive phrase can have four different kind of speeches. Can be a noun, adverb, or non-adverb, or adverb, or verb, or an adjective. Four different kind of speeches. So now it is used to modify pray. So this is adverb. Okay. So let's see the sentence here. Canadian boys play hockey. Boys play hockey, right? So this is about main line, and this is vertical line, and this is shorter one divided between, put in between the verb and the object. So boys play hockeys, and what kind of boys? Canadian boys. So we have a Canadian boys here, right? Canadian, and from kindergarten. So play from in kindergarten. So this is the adverb to modify play. To reach their goals. To reach their goals. So basically, an infinitive phrase with to followed by a verb and its modifier and the complements look very similar to a prepositional phrase. This is very similar, right? But the only difference is that we have to respect the horizontal line and the importance of the shorter vertical line to divide, reach, and go, verb and object. Okay, it's about the same. And put under the word it needs to modify. Okay, so this is how we use in infinitive phrase. So let's move to the next one. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so Joseph took 3 part-time jobs to raise his family. So the primary structure here is Joseph took jobs. Is that right? So Joseph took jobs. What kind of job? Part-time job. How many times? 3 part-time jobs to raise his family. To raise his family is in infinitive phrase. So let's have the drawing here. So this is the correct one. We have a Joseph took jobs, right? So, and we have part-time used to modify 3, modify jobs. Qualifier 3 used to modify part-time. So we have 3 part-time jobs. So this is the components to modify jobs. And to raise his family, 2. And remember, this line has to be horizontal. No, diagonal. This is a diagonal line. It's not a vertical. This is vertical. Okay, when we say vertical is this, diagonal is here, horizontal is this, right? And this is diagonal line. Because I noticed some students just use vertical line. No, this is wrong. Okay, such as this one. This one is a vertical line. So you have to put this something a little bit like a diagonal line. So be careful for this one. Okay, so let's move to, so look here. This has to be, okay, and this is, and this is 2. 2 is here. And raise is above the horizontal line. So can, let me see if I can change to, okay. So let's take a look about this one. So this must be here, and 2 is here, not above the horizontal line. So you have to move the 2 over here, and to raise his family, and this is good. So a slight change, but this one is in general good. So be careful for the tiny difference. Okay, so good. Let's move to the next one. So let's look at this one. The shoes were out of fashion. Now we have a very tricky part. We know this is a subject, and this is the be verb, right? Verb be. And we know out of fashion is an adjective. It refers to, this is a prepositional noun, but it is an adjective. And it should be placed on the position as a subject complement. So how can we do this? So look here. Now, shoes were, and this position is a subject complement, right? But the subject complement is the segment here. And actually, it is a prepositional phrase. Out of, preposition, object, right? So the format is still the same, but the component here is functioned as an adjective, and then it is put on the position here. So this is a pedestal. Pedestal refers to this segment. This is a pedestal. So this pedestal is used to put here, and because the segment here is a subject complement, so you have to put over here. And put over here, and we have a general idea about this one. This one is an adjective, is a subject complement. So it put into the slot over here. So phrase and clauses that occupy the subject or complement slot, subject or complement slot, are written on pedestals above the main clause. Okay, so this is the way we know this one is a subject complement. So you cannot just write here. You cannot just simply write over here, say out of fashion. No, this is, oops, that's too light. We cannot just write over here, because out of is a preposition. So prepositional phrase has to be lifted up over here, and fashion over here, and put the components of the prepositional phrase, treat it as an adjective, subject complement. So it is here. So this is a pedestal, and you put up there. Okay, pedestal. What does that mean? Because pedest, P-D-S-T, means foot, and something can be treated like a foot. This is a foot. So pedestal is a 平台. So you put up there. Okay. So let's move to this one to see whether you can do this. This one needs some imagination. Okay. So look like you have put a lot of thoughts on your drawing. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. So basically, the structure for the core components, the terrorists were from this extreme group of fundamentalists. So here is the subject, and here is the beaver, right? And we see this from this extreme group of fundamentalists is actually the subject complement. It's pretty long, it's a prepositional phrase and combined phrases at all. So let's take a look about how can we achieve this drawing. The first one, something like this. The terrorists, okay, right? And the word here. And because we have the modified the. And here the whole segment here is the subject complement. So from is here. And the extreme group, okay? And this, oh, I'm sorry, extreme must be over here. There must be, and let me do this to change it. So basically, let me just draw it for you. Okay. Anyway, just for now. Okay. So basically, this will be something like this. So it's terrorist over here, right? And were from group. So from group. What kind of group? Extreme group. This extreme group. And of fundamentalist is used to modify group 2. So of fundamentalists. So all the segments here, these segments here, is the subject complement. Okay. So now please just so make the revision because this is very intriguing and needs some imagination. So basically this part, the part here is the subject complement. So from here. And put on the pedestal. Did you see this one? right? Hang over there and put on the subject complement. Okay, so move to the next one. Okay, so let's look at here. This is very simple. And just tell you, there are a lot of variation of the sentence drawing, but the rationale is always the same. For example, this one, to know him. To know him is an infinitive phrase as a noun, right? Is to love him. Another noun, another infinitive phrase. It is also a noun. So subject is subject complement. So you can see this is the whole segment. To know him, put on the pedestal, is to love him. And there's a diagonal line here because this is a subject complement. This one is a subject complement, right? So when you construct the infinite phrase, you put to and verb and object, and this is a whole segment. So to know him is to love him. Okay. And now, how about this one? So we have two now, and hurry up, the other students. Okay. So I want to share one of the students, Li Xia's. So let's talk about this one. To raise a family is a great commitment, right? For this one, this part is correct because this stands on the subject side. This pedestal, right, to raise a family is good, right? Raise family, a diagonal line. And this vertical line is also true because it is used to divide subject and the verb. Okay, but look here, is a great commitment commitment is a subject complement. So actually this one is diagonal line, it's not vertical. Because if you are using vertical, it refers to this is the object of the verb. But no, this is a subject complement. Okay? Not object. So it is not an object. So it is wrong. So remember, although this is a tiny difference, but if you are sophisticated in this drawing, you will know this is very, very different. And for this part, it is correct. Great is used to modify commitment. How great? How many? Is fine. Okay, so the only difference is here. You have to make sure it is diagonal, not vertical. Okay, but still, great job. Okay, so here comes the answer. Do you see? It's about the same, right? Diagonal line. Okay, so we can move to the next one. Okay, so now we have another variation. How about something standing on the pedestal? We say this is pedestal, right? Is a cross. Can we do that? Yes, we can do that. For example, this one. Everyone, subject, wondered, verb. And when the play would end is actually a non-clause. This is a non-clause, right? So basically, if we see this one, this is a subject, and this is a verb, and this is the object. So basically, we will put subject, verb, and object over here. Is that right? So you can see the correspondence between the sentence and the structure here. We have everyone wondered, and the pedestal upon it, this is the main line for the pedestal. And still, the structure is about the same. Pray is the subject, and would end is the verb, the pray. Would end is modified by when. So strange, right? But still the same. It still stands the same reason. Okay? So all the component here is a non-clause. Stand here as the object for wondered. Okay? So everyone wondered when the play would end. We know this is the part. This is the non-clause. And this is the object. And it should be here. Okay, so take a good look at this one. Okay, so now it's your turn to play around. Okay, so let's take a look. Let me use the 凤鱼's answer for the illustration purpose. So you can see this one. People know who the winner is, right? So basically, people, subject, verb, and this is who the winner is the noun clause. So basically, her answer is very close, but not quite right. Why? Because people is here. It's good. People is people, right? And the verb here divided by a longer vertical line is fine. And this is vertical line. It's good. Okay, so we have no. But how can we construct who the winner is? Who the winner is, we have to identify the subject first. Winner. Okay, she is right. Right? So she has winner here. Winner. So winner, the winner, the winner. And the verb is. It's true. But the position of who is wrong. Why? Because let's take a look about the structure. Who the winner is the winner is who, right? The winner subject is verb. Who is a subject complement. So basically, you have to put who here as a subject complement, but not here. Okay, so this is the answer for this one. So remember, who the winner is, actually the sentence is the winner is who. Is that right? So just change it. It is not a modifier for is. It is the subject complement for winner. So its position is here. Okay? Thank you. So, okay, so here is the answer. Do you see this one? Kind of very interesting, right? Great. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, then we have a coordinate conjunction to connect two clauses. And this is the structure. Basically, we use but. This is the coordinative conjunction. So dotted line and this is horizontal line and dotted line connected two verbs together. So the house look tidy, but yard is mess. So house look tidy. And remember, this is a diagonal line for subject complement, right? Connected by but and connected by two verbs. Yard is mess. The yard is a mess. Okay, so basically, how can we use coordinate conjunction to connect two clauses? Well, if this is a compound sentence, it is connected by a verb to verb, okay? So conjunction is here. Conjunction is on the solid line above it, and this is dotted line. So this is the structure for you to connect two sentences together. Okay, so move down to this one. Okay, look good. So far, so good. So let's see the answer here. Again, we use the student's answer for this one. And you can see from here. So Wenzhou is a great school. Wenzhou is a great school. And its students are excellent, right? So we have Wenzhou divided by a vertical line is, and a school diagonal line, great, perfect. And this is also good. And students, and just be careful, you have to draw a little bit to make it look like a diagonal, okay? So its students are, so excellent, that's good, perfect. Okay, so now most of the students have almost mastered the skills. Okay, so here is the answer. Same with you, right? Okay, so now let's move to the next one.